Let me turn the microphone on, because these lot are all late. Hang on, here we are.
When you say these lot are all late, some of us have been acting as the chaperone.
Are we all in enough there? You can see that, James.
Yes, I can.
John's just off. It's all right.
You'll be able to hear me.
Yeah, welcome to 4020 Live. It's not yet an inquest or a post-mortem. That's after next week and the week after. Just because we don't want to say anything. And then England win the series.
No, the other one's his.
If England win the series...
we're eating cake.
It's all right. If England win the series, we're all in trouble then, aren't we? Because we're like...
If England win the series, I'll do a nude lap of the Roundhay Parade.
Roundhay Park. Or Roundhay Parade.
Not the park, jeez. The parade's a lot shorter. The parade's only about 150 metres.
You might fall in the potholes.
That's true.
We didn't put Tommy Cannon's book on the table. We'll do that next week. In case it's a real comedy show. But
by the way, can I just check?
Can you just check what? Yeah.
Have you both, Phil and Richard? Have you both had your piece of cake?
Well, I haven't put the microphone on.
He doesn't like cake. He doesn't like coffee cake.
Oh no, I have put the microphone.
It wouldn't be my choice, but actually, it's quite nice.
Had.
Oh, okay.
So. I don't like coffee, so I'm not having the cake. So you can have my slices.
Imagine if we had something to celebrate with it.
Can I just ask, by the way, you know this table of chat that gets more and more
yes. Don't ask.
We've now got...
What's for Barbie and Ken?
No. But I'm
Is
not
that Reece Walsh and...
No.
Kezzy Apps?
It's just some people who've turned up.
Well,
are they a thing?
One of them's not got a top on.
There's just one's a tall blonde and one's kind of got lovely eyes.
Yeah, no, it's just some people who've turned up. We've got a bench on the table as well.
Have we got the floodline?
No, because I need to fix it.
What about the pink, white cat or whatever that is?
Bagpuss. Someone described me as Bagpuss once on the podcast, so...
I mean,
which
it's been called worse, so
again,
to be fair.
You've passed the citizenship test and you don't know who Bagpuss is, so it's... This is what people tune in for. They don't tune in for Rugby League analysis, because if they did...
I did that last night on a different podcast.
You've got an actual expert on that. This is not that program.
Got a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not that program.
We've got a referee.
We've got a referee. Yeah. Expert. We should have interviewed Liam Moore in the Tom Lee walked past us. We should have said.
He waved.
We were just talking before James came pre-pod, me and Phil, and it was amazing during the game on Twitter. He was getting slammed by English fans because he was biased towards Australia. And then you wake up the next day and the Australian media is giving him shit because of the slant. It's like, the bloke can't win.
That means he's had a great game.
Yeah, that's generally, you think you've done all right then.
If you upset both sides, you've done really well.
I mean, you could debate the forward pass, but I don't think he missed...
Forward passes.
I don't think he missed all the tackles on Reece Walsh.
It's like little knock-ons. We're not playing for forward passes anymore. We don't. It's like the NFL.
Don't mention little knock-ons.
Don't do it. No, Liam Moore must have been all right. The Australians have just had a playoff series where everyone's done whatever they wanted, headbutt people.
Exactly.
And nothing happens, and it's like, it's all right, it's all right. Shall I read all the comments before we get into things? John Davidson's here, because the people who are listening, they won't know. Well, they will know, because he's here. John Davidson's here.
I'm going to turn your brightness up, because I can't read it. I want to read over your shoulder.
Thank you.
As long as no one's watching me eat cake, because no one wants to see that.
Well, we've almost cut you off the screen, so I take up too much real estate now, like my cats. So you can just about see them.
Your fat cats?
Yeah, they're officially fat now, which is disappointing.
You mean they're in a bigger body?
Yeah.
You of all people, Phil, considering your family, you should know that terminology is not...
Do you want an exciting embargoed story?
Yeah.
Tell me about St Helens.
It's not that.
What is it? What's it?
Matt Whitley signed a 3-year extension with St Helens. So there you go.
Wow, that's...
I do like their new graphics. I'm not saying that because I know Tom, but... Right, comments before we get into everything. Liz has been on. After the test series, the bosses at the RFL, who are they? Well, you might have met one, might you?
I think they're Nigel's mates.
Don't say that. We might not get accredited for Headingley.
I've already got my accreditation.
Not for Headingley.
No.
Oh, no. It's all right. Yeah. I'll get it, I'm confident.
After the third test, we can say whatever we want.
I'm right for a national, they're going to let me in.
Well, you say that.
Well, I'll be writing for a national from my home on the TV screen.
You could have made it up. There could be a made-up newspaper because we let.
Come on, there's only one person in rugby league in commerce journalism who makes things up, and they're based in Bradford.
After the test series, the bosses at the RFL must tell the officials to clamp down and tidy up the ruck area, play the balls for 2026. They can't continue to turn a blind eye. It could help England in the future. Well, no, too many foreigners in the game. That's. We've got 2 more teams coming in.
Calm down, Farage.
We've got to fill them in with Queensland Cup players because we haven't got enough players. We've got Queensland Cup players in the bloody championship. Meaningful championship, sorry. Gary Wilson.
That's nice.
Wayne has got to stop picking his favourite. Got to drop Williams due to form. And Bateman has had his day from Gary the Viking. Thanks, Gary. Just like James just dropped his phone. Paul says, has all the credit in the bank gone? Have we seen the RFL account? England probably played as well as they could, says Andrew. Problem is, the Aussies still beating us playing in second gear. They will beat us by over 30 points on Saturday. I mean, if the bookmakers give England 16 again, we'll all be on it.
Can I just interrupt? England did not play as well as they could. That's absolute nonsense. They didn't play
Andrew
well.
was trying to be positive.
No, but the positive is they could play a lot better.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that, surely.
Ulysses says, hope you appreciated my exclusive reveal of the England halfback combination. Were you the one from the game who tweeted the...
This is the England halfback.
Is that the England halfback? Well, if we put Eva Hunter in the team, I think she'd scare the Aussies more than John Bateman.
Georgia Roach.
Georgia Roach as well. Yeah, play her at 6. It'll be all right. Stick a scrum on them. They won't know.
To Ulysses, the prediction was correct.
Yeah. We were wrong. That's why I cut out on the video.
Ulysses, what are the lottery numbers this week?
It's on the video that I put out about the Ashes. It ends with me about to turn the shirt round, and we all said, "Oh, it'd be Harry Smith, won't it?" But I cut that bit out.
There's a lot of things to talk about.
There's loads more comments as well. Go on.
Let's start with England's half-back combination.
It's going to be Harry Smith and George Williams.
No. All year, Mikey Lewis has been playing at 6.
Correct.
He's been standing a bit further off the ruck. His skill and ability is to pick where there are deficiencies in the defence and decide when he's going to become an incursion into the line. But we play him at 7, whereby he's so easy to negate because the Australian defence is so quick when it moves up.
And Willie Peters has told them what to do.
Why,
funny that, it is his job. Yeah.
Why would be my question.
I don't know.
Well, you're saying they should play him at 6 and Williams.
Well, I think you either play a player in the position where they've had all the impact this season and ask them to play in a role that is similar to why they've been picked in the first place. Or you don't play them out of position because it negates the fact that...
But they're similar style players, aren't they?
So I think the decision you make is Williams or Lewis.
I think there's probably a guy playing at Leeds who could have been handy.
Yeah, that's another. I'm talking about going with what we've got rather than what we've
but
chosen to exclude.
If you make mistakes before even the kick-off, what do you kind of expect?
No, but I just
it won't make any difference.
In hindsight,
probably ever did.
Lewis at 7 wasn't a great tactical selection.
Good turnout at Wembley. I'm going to go through all the comments and we'll start.
Oh, don't get me started
the real
about the crowd.
It was a great crowd.
No. It was a great crowd, and the atmosphere wasn't great. But that's because England was so poor. But my annoyance was with the Times.
Yeah, well, I
know what I mean?
From the Times this afternoon on Facebook saying apparently lots of over 40-year-old women are starting lesbian affairs with other mums at the school gates. Now that's the kind of story I'm interested in. The Times. Yes.
I was going to say, what's the segue to
the Times?
Segue to the Ashes?
Because it's in the Times, which is far more interesting than. Only 61,000, the record crowd for the Ashes.
I don't think Stephen Jones wrote that though.
You think a sub did?
Do you think he'll be at Everton on Saturday?
No.
Do you think we'll be asked to go at Twickenham?
4020 live at Twickenham.
Yeah.
Well, that was a bizarre thing, wasn't it, Rich? We don't know who they were. They were some sort of Polynesian influencers. I don't know if they were Tongan or Samoan.
So in the mix zone afterwards, James, there were these two people. One of them with a camera and one of them interviewing people. And we knew they were doing it wrong because they're holding the cameras up like this. And that's not how TV screens are. They're like that. But that's by the by. Because John does that on his Twitter.
Unless you put it on TikTok or
Instagram.
Instagram.
We're not on TikTok. We're on YouTube. We're professionals. And they asked Angus Crichton, if you're a rugby union player, what would you be? And they also asked him, hang on. Bear with me a second while I get the pronunciation of his name from Wikipedia.
Nawakanese.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong.
No, it is Nawanga Nitawaze.
Yeah.
So
they asked Mark Nawanga Nitawaze what position he played in rugby union, which obviously even I know the answer to that. He's winger because he's a winger and he plays rugby union.
They didn't ask one question about the game.
No.
And they got precedence in front of you and me.
Yeah.
And it was like, what are they doing
obviously
there?
in front of you.
Yeah.
That's an outrageous slur.
He's Australian.
The point being...
No, it's just, I mean, it's talking about taking the piss.
Paul was saying, do England Rugby League fans need a song to sing, and what do you think it should be?
What happened to the land of
don't ask people,
something in...
People are going to send in funny suggestions. Don't send in funny suggestions.
Like local radio.
Yeah, living on a prayer after John Bon Jovi was there the other day.
It's always been the case for England games that people don't know what to sing or shout,
Apart
and
from
so
boom, sound,
it
thump.
always ends up
It's
being a
got
fairly.
to be the action that gets them excited, and it wasn't.
We can't sing Reece Walsh songs, can we? Because he's for the other lot.
Grease Lightning.
Grease Lightning.
Grease Lightning.
Bookies have us 18 for Saturday. I'll take that, Pete, wouldn't you? Wayne's loyalty is costing him dear, says Jimmy E. So, where do we start? Do we start with the game or the stuff around it? Bring the teams out together. The mascots are there to walk. But the players should walk out with the mascot still, because otherwise there's no point having the mascots.
I think
the
that
mascots,
was
that's
an
what I'm saying.
intention to intimidate Australia with the atmosphere,
That
to
worked,
send them
didn't
out
it?
early
Yeah, that works.
and let them wait while England came out.
sorry.
And the crowd.
I'm sorry, but
it didn't work.
Are we in 2025? Like, this intimidating atmosphere is absolute bollocks.
Well, listen, if
They're
you
professional footballers
if you
who
let him
play
in and
at
see
the
what
elite
happens.
level. They're not 12-year-olds
if
who've
you're going
never
to
played in
appeal
front of
to
crowds.
Winston Churchill,
Yeah.
take whatever.
You've not got
but it's
grit.
absolute. It's the same thing with the. We're going to bash them. Like, they're elite footballers. They're tough people. You have to do more than just be physical to win these games.
John, how long have you been in this country for?
Too bloody long.
You should know by
Well,
now.
that's what we say.
Yeah.
You should know by now that above anything, above everything, a certain subsection of the English, 'cause it's not the British, because the Scottish and the Welsh and the Irish, Northern Irish because Ireland's separate, are too sensible for this nonsense. But a certain subsection of the English value above talent and ability and all that stuff, passion and grit and all that kind of, as you say, bollocks.
But we had this chat the other day, Rich, and it's the same thing in Australia, and the Socceroos manager said Aussie DNA. What is Aussie DNA? It's grit and hard work. It's complete nonsense. Everyone around the world has hard work and effort and pride in where they're from. Like, we're all quite similar. We're all human beings.
If we played Ukraine, right, we'd probably
Yeah, I
win.
mean they're
But I don't-
probably fairly tough.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
I don't think the difference between the two teams will be great.
Rich, I think the Vietnamese showed, in the 60s and 70s, and before that, thousands of years, they're pretty
It's
tough.
nonsense, but it's
Yeah.
it's
one-dimensional nonsense.
God bless the Rugby Football League for doing this documentary, which is great and it's professional. It looks great and it is it's no gimmicks. It's a proper documentary. But I'm not sure it necessarily shows England, quote unquote, in the best light, because when you have the pre-match meeting and the coach tells a story about George Williams not saying thank you for a hotel key or something, and he says we all want to be good people. We want a team full of good people. If you are an excellent player who could beat the Aussies, but you're a prick, you're not in the team. So immediately, everyone watching that is thinking the same thing. I'm not going to say it because I can't back up that theory, but everyone's thinking the same. People have watched this documentary and everyone's saying the same thing. I could write for one of those websites. So everyone's thinking the same thing.
Don't look at me when you say that.
No, it's not you. But you're representing journalism. Can't look at James. You don't know about a website about Rugby League.
No, but what I do know is that I know that that mantra of Sean Wayne didn't ring true on Saturday in direct comparison to Australia. I know that.
And they're not all good people, because we know that. But that's not a problem. I don't have a
How
problem
do you
with...
define good?
Well, I don't-
Exactly.
Well, John, prick. You two, good. Me, prick.
Well,
That's how it works. I don't have a
Well, at least
problem...
we're balancing each other
exactly.
out. Yeah.
I don't have a problem if
Yin
the
and
squad's
yang.
got no good people in. They're all complete Burks. But we beat the Aussies. Then we've got what?
I think
It's about winning.
the issue for me, of which there are several, but to start the conversation, was that on the way down we discussed two potential scenarios. One was England win, and that was done on the basis of it's the first match of the series. If you're going to catch Australia unawares, that's the one to do it. It's at Wembley, which historically has been a decent ground result-wise for England. It's going to be the biggest crowd of the series. We've nothing to lose, therefore we've got an opportunity to win. And the other scenario was that England lose narrowly, and that sets up still the games to come, and the series is still alive.
However,
Coming back, the conversation was, why the hell did we buy into those theories? Because the one that happened wasn't the one that we considered, and that was that it was just so incredibly disappointing.
Phil, do you know the meaning of the word narrow? It's not 20 points.
No, that was the point.
I'll get you a dictionary for your next birthday.
The issue, I think, was that some of us, and I will include myself in this particularly, bought into the fact that we were so excited about this series coming back after 22 years that the cultural reference points we were going to was England winning the first test in those series and playing really well, and Australia having to dig deep in the second one to level the series, and then because they tend to have better players who play in things like State of Origin more often than we do, they tend to win the third game because they know how to handle it. And I think the disappointment this week is we realised what we actually already knew, that the gap between the NRL and our competition is wider than it's been probably since 1982. It didn't feel like 82, because for those of you far too young to remember, which is probably all of you,
I wasn't born.
all of you, the first test at Boothbury Park in 1982 that Australia won 40 points to 4, from about an hour in, the ground was silent. So there's, I think there were 30,000 people there or whatever, but nobody knew what to say or how to react, because we were watching something we was like, there's two different sports on this pitch at the moment. There's what we think is rugby league and what the Australians had brought over because they just discovered things like fitness and professionalism. We didn't have any of that.
Fitness.
And that was different. 82 was different because it became a touring exhibition. This was, we went with expectation and we were sadly let down.
It comes back to the point I mentioned pre-podcast, which I talked about on the podcast last week, that's why I was referencing performance. It was about the result, but it was also about performance. And unfortunately, they didn't perform. Also, by the way, Australia didn't perform that well either, actually, which is scary.
That's the concern.
Yeah. But they didn't perform, which then people's hopes are even further dashed going into this week. But John's right, and he said it already. England will improve, but Australia will improve as well.
We've skipped the
Will
angle.
England improve?
Yes, they have to.
How? Because again, the other
I don't
conversation
think
we
they can
had.
get worse.
Winston
No,
Churchill.
but the other
Winston
conversation
Churchill!
we had coming back.
Rich, have you heard of Gallipoli?
The 7 players.
Look into it.
The
Read up.
Anzacs. I've heard that.
7 players that can be bought in. How do they change it? Because they're like for like.
Well, one thing they can change it. You can get a fullback who actually comes off his line and tries to make a tackle. That's the key. I mean, basically.
Well, that's going to be a change, isn't it? I would imagine they're going to bring Brimson in at fullback. Do you think?
At the very minimum, you would think if he doesn't start at fullback, he's on the bench.
But now in this great period where people are saying, "Oh, we should play Herbie Farnworth at fullback." Does he ever play fullback?
I don't think he. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's ever played fullback in the NRL. He may have played fullback in the under 20s in the Queensland Cup.
So the second test.
But Matty Johns has played at fullback.
and he knows more about rugby league than I do. I'm not going to.
He's forgotten more about rugby league than I do.
I think if we're going to talk about England's lack of performance, there were 2 players who I think, if we're going to improve, and that's what we're talking about, need to get more of the ball. And one was Farnworth, who with the limited ball that he had was by far our best player, but we didn't get him into space enough. Virtually all the things he created, he engineered himself. And the other one I thought we underused was Pierce Paul, because I think there isn't the size that I think we've had in the past. And he is a big lad, and he's clearly dexterous. He can get his hands free. And again, we just had him doing too much defending. We didn't give him.
2 points there, Phil. I think the size is not the issue, because Alex Warner is bigger than anyone else.
I think athleticism
is the
issue.
issue.
And it does go. I mean, when Kolomatangi comes off the bench, it's a size thing as well as...
You solve the athleticism issue by picking Aledzki, by picking Nsemba, by picking Luke Thompson, because they're all athletic, great engines. They're more dynamic. The other issue that you forgot...
Yeah, 2 of those.
Well,
that's
because the squad selection was poor.
But I'm
we
just
all know
saying,
that.
how do we forget the squad selection? There's a bigger issue about who could we select in the round, but how do we change it in 6 days?
Yeah.
With what we've got.
The bigger issue that underlines all this that you didn't mention when you mentioned Herbie is when Herbie was 16. Where did he go?
Oh yeah, his uncle did not want to put him in the
who is
the
his
system
uncle?
here. Yes, his uncle was involved with Wigan, but he didn't want him to go to Wigan. He wanted him to go to Brisbane to get the best chance.
And is he the best English player in the world?
He's the only player that might get in the Australian.
So
24.
the issue is, what is happening with the development in the pathways?
Yeah.
You have to travel around the other side of the world to be developed. So there is a huge issue with the lack of rugby
Yes.
league in schools, with the coaching, with the pathways, the
think
talent
it's-
identification, because it's not producing the Rob
Which-
Burrows,
which
the
it-
Danny Maguires,
No,
the Sam Tompkins,
but
the
even in-
Scullies.
But even in that era, they weren't winning tests. The
No,
issue-
but they had a
that's-
lot more
that's
more
a second-
creative players.
That's a
I
second
think that's
issue.
a huge issue.
The
It's a
issue
huge
is, how do you change it in 6 days?
Well, I don't think a lot can be changed, but I think as we've said, Brimson in. I think Jez Litton should start. I think.
Play the full 80 so it gives you a bench place?
Well, it's either if Brimson comes in at fullback, you put Wellesby on the bench, and then you've got a utility who can
Yeah.
cover. Yeah.
Because I think what you need to do then is say Litton plays the full 80
Yeah.
because we can then bring
And
him
I
back
think Aledzki comes in, and then I think it's maybe Watkins and Smithies. Now, Callum Watkins is not the same player he was a decade ago, but he's a workhorse and he's experienced. And Smithies is a lot younger and he's a workhorse
but
as
the
well.
difference is we've got to win this test.
Yeah, there's not a lot that
Which
can
of
be
those
changed.
players that are coming in can change the dynamic of that game?
Well, I think Brimson is a very good attacking player, and Jez Litton can offer probably a lot more than Darryl Clark could.
I
in the
worry
starting
about
role.
Brimson in that you've pictured him in a series that you have to.
Sorry,
if
the
you,
other one
if
I
you're going
forgot.
to play
Harry Newman. I think Harry Newman comes in the centres as well, because he's got the footwork.
He's got an
to,
offload.
yeah, and he's a bit quicker and can trouble the Australians. I think.
And
For Jake Wardle,
he's got
should I
passion.
say.
Because Wardle went off with.
Well,
he had the ice on his knee when he walked through the mix zone. Didn't he?
Yeah,
So
I think it
don't
was
know.
probably more of a call, but he's got passion. Yeah, because no one else has passion when they represent their country.
Winston Churchill.
They're not bothered when they. Yeah.
13 Winston
Nonsense.
Churchills. 17 Winston Churchills. That's what we need.
See, that's interesting with
What,
Wardle.
short,
because
fat bloke?
He has been one of the better players this season,
Who's that?
Wardle, and I don't
think-
think he played very
I
well.
think the thing with, and I heard a rumour before the first test that he's a bit crocked, that his body, he's kind of hanging on. He's had a very tough, long season, and he's a bit, he needs a break.
But
But,
that-
I think he's
that's
putting,
part of a wider
but
issue.
that happened-
yeah. But no, he
But
put his
that
hand up to
happened-
play, and I commend him for that. But maybe,
But the previous 2 years, he didn't play against Samoa and Tonga for exactly that reason.
Well, Latrell Mitchell basically said, "I'm not feeling that good. I'm not going to play."
He might
You
not
know
be
what
the
I mean?
only-
So
He
yeah.
might not be the only one who's carrying an injury in the England side.
No, I'm sure.
No,
lots of
no,
players
no,
are.
but-
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that the Aussies will get exponentially better because they have a greater pool of talent.
It's like a graph. England are like that.
My concern is we can replace, but we can't change. And we could all be sitting in a week's time and Sean's pulled a masterstroke and it's 1-1 and we're going to Headingley as we hope we would be. But I just don't see difference in the 7 that didn't play.
Phil, can we stop parroting the cop out of greater pool of talent?
There is a greater pool. There's a much
Yeah,
greater pool
but
of
is
talent.
that the reason why? So why do the All Blacks, why do they dominate world rugby when there's 5
Because
million
the
people?
the national game
and-
is rugby union.
But there's more people who play rugby union in England than there is in New Zealand. So your greater pool of talent is bollocks.
No, we'll extend the argument.
There's more people
yeah,
who
but
play
that's not
China. There's more people who play football
Yeah.
in China
It's
than
what
there
it-
is in England.
it's
But
what-
England,
it's
yeah,
what is your
exactly. It's what you do with that
primary,
talent.
but it's what your primary sport is as well. The primary sport over here is football.
It's
All the
coaching
best-
and it's
All
culture.
the best athletes go to football.
It's coaching and it's
The
culture.
culture is no dickheads. That's what he's
There's
saying.
more-
It's also
There's more-
funding, isn't it? So
There's funding
you know,
plays a role,
so-
but there's more
Apologies for the
people who
language.
play football or soccer in Australia than there are rugby league. And unfortunately for me,
But it's
Australia's
also-
not winning FIFA World Cups.
We fish in the wrong pools because if Kai Pearce-Paul is one of the players that we're saying could potentially be the answer, he's come out of an accidental London talent pool. We do have talent, we just don't exploit it. But did you watch Samoa and Tonga?
I saw the highlights.
The amount of players now that are playing in an elite competition are making nations that have very few players to call on much better players. So the issue isn't necessarily the number that play, it's the competition
Yes.
that they play in.
And Super League's
Our
getting weaker.
competition is not
By
breeding
extending-
sufficient talent at the same time as we're increasing it to 14 teams.
Yes, it's become less intense,
Yes.
which breeds players who can't play at a higher intensity
Yes.
against the very
Whereas
best.
the NRL and the NRLW, for those that watched obviously the women's games this weekend, the quality of player in lesser nations in terms of size and number of people playing is that to get to where they are in an elite competition, they have to be fantastically good.
The same argument comes in New Zealand and Rugby League. There's not a huge amount of players of Rugby League in New Zealand, but why do they punch?
They've improved massively since they had a team in the NRL.
But a lot of it, part of it is New Zealand kids grow up playing league and union, touch footy all the time, the school base. They create players like Benji Marshall, like Rangi Chase. Those players hardly exist in England.
But their football team, soccer team,
Chris Wood.
but it won't be the same.
Name another one.
No idea.
The guy played for Tottenham a while ago.
But if you play rugby union, you can play rugby league. There's a transferability of skill,
Yes.
and I think funding plays a part as well.
But it's also that dynamic of growing up, immersed in it, and playing it. The skills, the skill
it's
acquisition.
a cultural thing, though,
It is
isn't
a
it?
cultural
It's a
thing.
cultural
That's
thing.
part of it. But the other thing is, we've been having this debate since 1982.
Yeah.
Well, me and Rich
that
and James
is
have it. But
that the competition doesn't breed players that can play at the highest, most intense levels often enough because they don't have to on a week-to-week basis, and it's too long over here.
Yeah,
So we're not breeding elite play. If we only need 17 elite players to beat Australia, but we're struggling to find 17 absolutely elite players that can play 3 consecutive weeks, one after the other. And yet, if you don't perform at the very highest level, week in, week out, in the NRL, you ain't going to be selected because there's 4 kids behind you that will take your place.
I think also a big part of it is coaching those 17 players, because they are very good players. They've copped a lot of stick.
We've got some decent coaches.
Yeah. Well, why didn't they do captains wrong, Phil? Because apparently,
I think that question should be aimed at the coach. But
the coach said they'd all played at Wembley before. I've never seen Herbie Farnworth play at Wembley. I've never seen Tom Young play at
Tom
Wembley.
Johnston, he didn't play that.
Yeah, about a third of them never played. So why?
But that's an issue to,
it's bad preparation.
at the end of this series, to level at the coach if they don't win it.
The same thing happened in the semi-final of the World Cup.
Besides,
People have got short memories.
They didn't want to meet John Bon Jovi, did they?
I do find it strange, because when you see in the way, particularly in the way they attacked, it was clunky in the same way the Australian team certainly was in the first half. They probably clicked a little bit more into gear the second, and that comes back to lack of time playing with each other. There's just another opportunity to do that.
I think the first half, England made 3 really good opportunities, and you know that in a game of that quality against a team that good, if you make 3 chances, you've got to take at least 2 of them, and we didn't take any of them. So that's one thing. I think the other thing is the start of the second half. You've been in the dressing room. You're 8-0 down. It really should be 6-2. I don't know why we didn't go for goal, because I think there is a big difference between 2 scores behind and being 1 score behind. So you say, well, what we need to do at the start of the second half is we need to pin them in their in-goal area, put pressure on them. We put in a brilliant kick, and I know Reece Walsh is fantastic, but the chase on that is just awful. It really was. And the next minute you're looking up and he's 70 metres downfield on the back of that Crichton scores, and the game's finished.
The problem
forward past us. So
the problem for me was, like, they came out of second half and you thought, okay, well, it's 8-0. They're still in it. They've got to start well. They've got to. It was absolutely abysmal. So what happened at half time? Like that Crichton try, you watch it back. I know they targeted Warnes in the side, and he's a big man, but he can't have been that tired because it was 3 minutes in the second half. But it was so soft, like at that elite level. And we've all watched rugby league for decades. That was a ridiculously embarrassing.
It was interesting for me to listen to the analysis because I've never played the game, so it was interesting to listen to the defensive analysis around getting the players to push rather than paddle. And that was their response to the analysis.
What does that mean?
So rather than going across laterally,
sliding defence.
Yeah, push forward and put pressure on the
defenders.
Yeah,
you're up and in.
Up and in.
Yeah.
So they wanted Herbie Farnworth, I think it was.
Is that why?
Who was next to him?
Jack Wellesby was out of.
Young.
The winger. Young. They wanted the wing and the centre basically to come in to the attacking line and put pressure on them.
I think one of the differences also is in Super League, you get a lot of 3, 4, sometimes even 5-man tackles. Yeah. Where in the NRL, you get a lot of 2-man tackles, sometimes 3. So they're drawing more. So basically, they've got to retreat, and then if you get a quick ruck or a half quick ruck, you can exploit that. And they did that. Harry Grant did it numerous times. Reece Walsh. He just had a field day.
Players doing things you don't expect them to do because you see them week in, week out for their Super League teams, and they don't do these things. Like Jack Wellesby's defence and he doesn't do that for someone else.
Tom Johnson
Or Tom
kicking.
Johnston kicking. I've never seen him kick.
No, I don't
Because
think
he
I've
would back
seen him.
himself to score at Wakefield.
But then
But
when
he did it
Litton
for Great
kicked from
Britain.
dummy half,
For
it
England.
was a 40-20.
Yeah.
That was a great kick.
Yeah, it was a
And what
great
did we do
kick.
on the back of it?
I can't
And some
remember.
people
Probably
say-
knocked on.
Some people gave Litton bad scores. It's like, and that's nothing. The markings, and Phil doesn't, so I'm saying this to his face. Do all other nonsense. Stop reading them.
I
Stop
do.
reading.
Oh, you mean the rating?
Yeah, stop reading them.
It's clickbait. That's
I
what
know,
it is.
but just stop
Yeah.
reading them.
I mean, I'm not
Especially
reading
when your
rich, but-
headline doesn't match up with the numbers you're giving to the players. But I don't want to destroy journalism here.
But that's not journalism, because you don't watch a game and individually take note of 17 players,
But
because
no
it's
one wrote-
physically impossible.
No one wrote about
You
the
just-
Australians. No one said Reece Walsh don't like his hair 9.
It's got lovely hair. What are you talking about?
Little bit,
What
of
about his eyes?
little bit of eyeshadow. I know.
You know
I
what?
tell you what, it's worrying.
You know
It's
what?
worrying.
I was listening to a Triple M podcast now, and I only got to London on Friday, so I wasn't in at camp or around. But it's interesting to note that they didn't put him up for media during the week. He was the only player who didn't, so he could focus on the game. And boy, didn't that work.
Female props
But
and
the-
Reece Walsh's eyes.
the other thing about
that appears to be
Reece
my
Walsh-
weakness now.
Though as Reece Walsh knows that he's got Dylan Edwards looking over his shoulder in that 24, and that he has to play like that to keep his spot.
Oh, England would love to play to face Dylan Edwards.
Who's our Reece Walsh?
It's got about the pace that you do, Phil.
Who's our Reece Walsh? Who's our Harry?
Well, I
that's-
made this
that's the
point
point.
on Twitter.
Well, who's our Scotty? Who's our Edwards? Who's our
No, but the
Handley?
closest players to Reece Walsh in Super League are Bevan French, Dryfield, and then you probably go
Well, Bevan
Lachlan
French-
Miller, Matt Duffy. There's hardly any English fullbacks,
So,
and that's
so,
a real
that's
that's
the point
a
of the club. So
production
listen,
that's
the
a
club.
production line
So
problem.
it's Max Jowett.
But
And
it's,
Max Jowett's a good player,
Yeah.
but he's not that
Yeah,
dynamic
of course,
kind of
it's
yeah,
player.
also clubs recruiting those sort of players rather
Because
than
they-
trusting in.
But or do
the
they
youth.
exist? Do they
Yeah,
exist?
yeah, they do.
I think the one who does
having watched the
George Flanagan Jr. I think has got potential.
having
long term.
watched some of the academy and reserves latter playoff and
Warrington
finals,
beating Penrith.
we've got juniors. We just think that there's a better option in buying a Queensland or New South Wales Cup player than persisting with our juniors and playing them in an environment and a pathway in terms of this. When did England Knights last play? You know, why wasn't the curtain raiser on Saturday?
Was it against
the
Jamaica?
Australia and the Australian schoolboys? We that's what we've
Well, you
lost.
don't want to play France anymore.
Well, I would.
Let me go through some comments.
France might get the win.
Loads and loads of comments. Ulysses says, no player did more damage to his reputation than Wellesby's defence was horrible. Andrew says, Wakey players did okay.
Well, I'd
But Big
start
Mike
with
must start on Saturday.
I'd
Up the
start
tree.
with-
Up
I
the
think
tree.
I think call up for Tilly.
He must be English now. Yeah.
I'd make McMeekin captain as well.
The atmosphere was the same, says Pete, as at Newcastle for the Samoan World Cup game at the start. The difference was then we started to score, which we obviously didn't do. I mean, when Clark scored, there was a big cheer, but unfortunately it was in the 79th minute, whatever it was. Let's dump the Ashes, says Andrew. If only just brought them back.
Let's
We've
stop
got like
the
Ashes
Ashes.
everywhere now. We aren't ever going to compete. Oh, come on, Andrew. Replace with Super League versus Australia and let's go a bit Ryder Cup. No, because that'd be rubbish. Also, Steve's idea today. I know he's in the right.
Oh, well, mascot, I've
About
not seen it.
England origin and France origin and playing Australia origin. Now it's got to be England versus France or England versus Wales or England versus Scotland. Even if England win all the games easily, you can sell England versus another nation to the general public. How many people do we think were at Wembley who've never seen Rugby League before, who've never seen England before, never seen Australia before, but it was sold to them on its international sport?
Well,
And if it would have been, they might be there next week
Yeah.
to watch the Springboks versus Japan. I don't know, but they want to see events, and that's an event. And
the amount of
unfortunately,
national newspaper coverage was massive.
which you won't get for England origin versus France,
I don't think
Wales origin. 'cause
You're
no
not
one
getting
cares.
Pat Rafter rocking up to, Wales Origin v Dublin or whatever.
Is it time, says Paul, to align the rules between the hemispheres so everyone plays the same rules, be it club or international level?
Been saying that for a while.
Well, we had the Pacific Championship, the Pac Champs women's were playing to different rules to the World Cup qualifiers. What rules are the women going to be playing at the World Cup next year?
Everything's just always made up, isn't it? Every tournament, you have to have a
Says
pre-tournament.
leading referee.
Well,
It's
how
just
How
made
hard
up.
is that as a
Like-
referee though?
Because there isn't a unified set of laws in the
But
game.
how
isn't it?
hard is
Simple
that
as
for a ref going
It's
in?
not that hard because
No?
you get used to. Unfortunately, every international series, you just have to have a pre-tournament discussion around what laws are we playing and what interpretations are we playing. And I think you'll see a different interpretation this week.
Yeah, because
the NRL referee.
your 3
think so.
seconds laying on at the ruck might be slower than somebody else's.
Well, I went through
Or
the
faster.
stats, and you know what's really interesting? England's play of the ball was about a second quicker than Australia's on
No,
average.
it's Liam Moore's fault.
I'm not sure whether I believe the stats when you see the stats. To be quite
Yeah,
honest.
I mean, I found that one quite staggering.
It was interesting, just on the officiating. I was reading some of the comments because Fox News went to town, didn't they? On Liam.
Yeah,
Bloody Poms.
Paul Crawley.
Yeah. But then reading the comments, actually, a lot of people said, they were Australian. I actually liked the way he refereed it. There was less whistle. There was less
it
six
flowed.
agains, and
It
it flowed.
flowed,
And so that's the thing, isn't it? You know, ultimately it's not NRL. It's not Super League.
No.
It's a standalone tournament. Can be officiated as they decide the tournament to be officiated. I suppose the dilemma is if it's officiated differently this Saturday, that's where you have a challenge. But that's the challenge that only the officials can agree on how it should be policed. You know, I thought the rucks at times were a little bit slow, but was it consistent? Yeah, it was consistent.
Well,
you know, was
Nathan
that the
Cleary
reason?
said it was fine.
Was that the
But
reason
he's
why
all
they
right.
lost,
That's
or
quite good.
otherwise?
The funny thing is, though, when you look at the 34 players on the field, the majority of them play in the NRL. Bateman, Young, Farnworth. So
My
the
only
majority
comment
would be used to
was
NRL.
actually the rucks got a little bit slower as the game went along.
Yeah.
So the last 20 minutes were slower than the rest of the game, and that is an argument to suggest that possibly if you'd gone earlier in the ruck in the first half, you may not get that in the second. But ultimately, I don't think it affected.
wasn't a
It didn't
factor
affect the
in any way
game.
whatsoever.
No, it didn't affect the game.
Well done to Tyra Jones, by the way. She must have the hardest whistle blow in rugby league. You could hear her in this country from Canada on the stream the other night as Fiji qualified for the World Cup. We'll talk about that later. Jimmy E says he's our number 3.
France men qualified for the World
And
Cup.
France, because they beat Jamaica.
What
didn't they?
did Wales and Serbia think of that, Phil?
What did they think of what?
Well, they were,
France qualifying.
oh yeah, because they're anti-France, weren't they? Because of the
Oh, anti-France.
Well, no,
because
we all
it was
are anti-France.
it was engineered for France to bring in a whole fresh set of players, and
Wales
and Serbia appealed about that.
I
and,
think Wales and Serbia would not want to go to a 10-team World Cup. The way it stands.
It's called
at the
about
moment.
fairness, Phil. That's what it is.
fairness.
Yeah.
Jimmy E, who's our number 3 top fan, says Nicholson, Thompson, and Nsemba would be handy. Unfortunately, none of them are in the squad.
I think the thing with Nicholson, I think he's admitted he wasn't fully fit.
No.
You know, and he wasn't in the. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's a great player and a huge potential, but probably this series with the injury that he had, he wasn't at full fitness.
Ulysses blames the weather. Barney says Farnworth.
It wasn't snowing.
Yeah, Farnworth isn't inherently better than the other players in the team. He was just developed in Australia. Paul says Wayne got his squad and team wrong. He picked players on credit in the bank, meaning he picked players on their form from 1 or 2 years ago, whereas the Aussies picked their squad and players on form. Were there any players in the Aussie team who shouldn't be in the squad? Or I mean, because I don't know. I'm genuinely asking that question.
No, there were some left out who we would.
I don't know. Well,
Give our right arm to have.
Bradman Best didn't have a great season. He was
Is
the
he
18th
Welsh?
man.
Is he Welsh?
No.
Yes.
No, he's Welsh.
He's from the Central Coast. Don't
Yeah,
you idiot.
no,
Yeah, but
He's eligible for Wales. He's not
Yeah.
Welsh.
Shouldn't you have a lot of bloody teams from Italy and Serbia and all over the place that they pretend? You know, he's Welsh.
Yeah,
But the point is, he was about the 8th choice centre. So that was...
Ryan Pappenhausen would get into our team.
Well, he's been in form, though. He's
Exactly.
team made the grand final.
So
yeah.
I mean,
but I think he's...
that's the difference.
I think with a
that
name like
superb
Pappenhausen,
name.
he's eligible for the Netherlands,
He's
not
Dutch.
for England.
Yeah.
But where we're still keeping up the campaign to give Shoemaker the 2020 Golden Boot, if the IRL are watching. Paul says, we made far too many good ball errors and didn't have a half that organised play. Fundamentally, that was a big issue. Paul, number 1 fan Paul, says London under-16s are going to Leeds on Wednesday to play a tournament against Leeds, Castleford, Featherstone and Newcastle. Had to crowdfund the trip. Well, we don't have any money, do we? But well done to them for doing that. That should be good.
And I got to say credit to Warrington. Is it their under-19s beat Penrith?
Well, we'll see how many.
And they drew. I think they drew with the New South Wales. So
Well done. We'll see how many get in the first team.
Well, it's just good to
They'll
see.
be in Swinton's first.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if you. I'm sticking with this theory, and I know I shouldn't. Doesn't matter how many games you win as an academy team. It's how many players you produce that can play Super League rugby.
Oh no, 100%.
But you know, well done Warrington. But still, how many of them will get a game next year for Warrington, or the year after, or the year after that, or will be at Swinton, as Phil says. I know it's negative. Nobody has mentioned, says Bob, how dominant the Australian pack was. If your pack can't dominate, your backs don't get time on the ball. That's what I asked Hudson Young. I said to him, so I asked every forward, you do all the hard work. And Reece Walsh comes on with his hair and stuff and gets all the credit. Quite good. What we have to say again, the Australians, they're quite good at this rugby league thing. World champions.
And they're quite good at doing media afterwards.
They are very good at doing media.
That was the professionalism was really good. They spoke well. They didn't dodge the media. Yeah, they were humble. I think I watched watched the BBC coverage, and I think Reece Walsh. I don't know how long he gave someone his shorts and
Yeah, I saw that.
doing selfies, and that's just
fair
great.
play.
Yeah, and I know Nathan Cleary did that after the Wigan game.
By the way, just on that, I don't think the Australian pack was that much more dominant than England. They scored a lot of tries from out wide, not out wide, from a long distance away. The hit ups were much bigger, weren't they? In terms of the stats, I think I saw on screen the distance they covered. Maybe, I don't know. I think the earlier comment was that they just made too many mistakes. Yeah. Therefore, they had to do more defending.
I think the back three for Australia made 219 more metres than England's back three. The edge forwards and lock made 100 metres more. The props 50 metres more, and the Australian hooker 61 metres more. So literally in every area, Australia made more run metres, which has got to be a concern because England actually had more ball in the Australian half and in the Australian 22 than Australia did. But as you said, their tries were scored from long range. They weren't,
Watch highlights of Warrington, says another poll. We've got too many polls watching this programme. Warrington are 18 against New South Wales Academy and drew. So we do produce the players, and they won their first games. Yeah, it's good. We just need to get the players into the first teams and not
but
third-rate
also
Queensland
we need
Cup
to
players.
have an elite competition that is exactly that, and we need to have the highest profile teams where pools of talent can be developed, which is why what is happening in London at the moment is really interesting. That's not the reason why England did or didn't win a test match against Australia in London, but you put a proper pathway in, you're going to get more Kai Pearce Pauls.
Andrew says the tactics weren't rocket science. We had to play like KR and put pressure on Australia. Unfortunately, they've got the Hull Kingston Rovers coach. So.
Play like KR.
Well, they've won everything, haven't they? So.
But it's not like they've reinvented the wheel of rugby league.
Well, no, but apparently England are just, we are what we are. Passion, grit. Winston Churchill.
So again, when you look at the squad, there's only 3 Hull KR players. Burgess didn't play.
Well, half the
Litton
players
and Lewis
are Hull KR are Australian or Pacific Islanders.
But you've got Hadley, you've got Minichella, and
well, Hadley could have been in the 24. Minichella had a fantastic season. I think he's great. He was another one who
we will
missed
never
out.
know if these players are good enough to play internationally because they don't get a chance to play internationally. And I know there's a difference between playing France and Australia.
The other part of that issue is we do not have a mid-season test to see if Elliot Minchella is good enough to play Australia later in the year.
Yeah,
and again, no, but we don't take it seriously. Our season is too long. First friendly's been advertised for next year. It's in the middle of January. It's like, oh, come on, please.
What, Boxing Day?
No, that's a cash cow. That's not.
Well, that's okay though. No, that's a cash cow.
Make some money.
That's not a meaningful friendly. That after 10 minutes is an academy game.
I think Mike Acevo might.
It's an academy game, but our season is too long, and we don't build in international windows to see if people like Dean Hadley and Elliot Minchella and maybe.
Harry Robertson.
Harry Robertson's a great example. Are good enough to make that step up. Because you can't throw them straight in against Australia. And who are we going to play before the World Cup this time next year? Because at the moment there is no fixture planned.
We know we're going to beat France or Ireland or Scotland or Wales or whatever, but it's not just the playing an international game, because obviously everyone's behind Australia, but it's how you react in camp.
Right.
And
France most likely would have beaten Jamaica. When Jamaica picked their squad and you see that there's players from East Leeds in there, you know that you're not comparing like with like. But the French preparation over the last 3 or 4 years, when they reached the rock bottom and they appointed Trent Robinson as director of rugby and they started to send their under-19s to Australia, they've got less money than we have. They get less money from the French government than we do from Sport England. They are sending their best kids to play Australian teams in preparation for putting them in the national team. this national team is now going to the World Cup next year because they beat Jamaica, but they spent 10 days in preparation. Jamaica probably quite rightly complained that they didn't have access to 10 days preparation of the value that France had, nor even when they got to France. I think they had one session when they got there. And I know the NRL has paid some of this, but to come and play Australia twice the week before in an opposed training session, to play a game against Albi on the Wednesday night where the game was held because Tony Gigot wants France to be back up there, considered a major nation. He put his side at their disposal even though their season is played. All of that shows a commitment to International Rugby League. We don't do that enough. We want to have 13 home games and want to start our season, at the beginning of February, and it's we want to have 2 extra teams in the division. It's nonsense.
We had a sit-down training session. They probably did a pub quiz and some bingo.
Absolute nonsense if you ever want to be competitive.
Of course, they've done Revy rubbing them down
with Australia.
I think the other concern going back to England and the pathway production is you look at Lewis Dodd, you look at Will Price, couldn't make the NRL. Barely played reserve grade, and they're regular starters in Super League. Yeah, that's a reflection. I mean, there's lots of English players who've done well in the NRL. Don't get me wrong.
And it's not like we don't need halfbacks
or fullbacks.
But again, Morgan Smithies has played for Canberra,
the minor premiers,
who finished
played
top
well
of the league,
Canberra.
And he can't get in our 17.
Why? Has he not got credit in the bank?
But why pick him in the 24 if
he
you're not?
Could have had a nice rest, couldn't he?
No, but I mean, surely. The credit he has in the bank by playing with the team that has finished top of the league in Australia is greater than credit in the bank of other people who didn't achieve that.
Do you think these clickbait journalists are dusting off an article about who'll be the next England coach?
James
for the World
Ford.
Cup?
James
Well,
Ford.
that assumes that if it isn't Sean Wayne and he doesn't win the series 2-1, which he might,
Absolutely, should do.
that they would pay him off the last year of his contract.
Yeah, of course.
Which ain't going to happen.
No.
That's not going to be Abby Koku's first job, I don't think.
Did you talk about that last week?
What?
No, because it was after.
No, it was after.
I noticed it was in the League Express, but the fact that I broke the story, no acknowledgement. But yeah, it's all right. I don't exist.
We chatted with him after the game, didn't we?
You did. I stood
Did you say congratulations?
Mm-hmm.
Did you find out what he's been doing for the last 20 years? Because it doesn't seem to have.
Well, it was with his brother Effin, who played for Wimbledon and Norwich.
No, as a job for the last 20 years.
Well,
it's a bit odd, isn't it?
We'll find out because he'll be doing all the press now because that Tony Sutton's been doing because the executive chief chairman.
What press is that?
He did that thing, didn't he? Saying we've got 14 teams, but we don't know what the playoff format
So
is.
one press event.
I don't know. I wasn't on it. I just heard about it.
Yeah, no, I asked him these questions, Rich, and he wouldn't comment.
Well, there you go.
it's interim.
So we won't find out.
It's interim.
It's
all
not. It's
change.
nonsense.
It's all going to change.
It's absolutely wrong. And
Worldwide search is ongoing.
It's interim.
Yeah.
It's on LinkedIn.
Well, we had the worldwide search that got Ralph Rimmer, and we had the worldwide search that got
What
Tony
Sport
Sutton.
England think to the same interim appointment?
Well, that's why it won't be there by next March.
Andrew says, what I mean by KR is a pressure type game to force errors. Well, going back to your kick chase thing at the point, we didn't bother.
I don't think it's that we.
No, the kicks weren't good enough. The end of sets were poor.
Yeah.
Which is why Harry Smith will be back.
Daryl Clark said exactly what James said after the game.
Well,
the end of sets were poor.
Well done to Stephen on Facebook, who pointed out quite correctly that on the video about Daryl Clark, I did call him England hooker Daryl Powell.
Did you?
Yeah, which no one else noticed. Well, 1,000 people watched the video, but no one noticed because no one reads the blurb. No one reads that text. It's pointless. I don't even know why I bother. The most alarming thing, says Ulysses, is that we were talking about a lot of these issues 20 years ago. Nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed now is podcasts have been invented because we've been talking about for the last 10. My gauge leading up to this, says Paul, I just call everyone Paul now, was judging the NRL versus Super League. I'm 49 and can't recall a greater gap in quality between the domestic games. London, says Dennis, have just signed youngster Jake Ramsden from Warrington, so they're playing at Swinton and Warrington. So that's good for London. The Kiwis turned around a 36-18 defeat to win 30-0 the next week 2 years ago. Maybe England need to bring that was Pete. Here's Ulysses. Maybe England need to bring in Michael Maguire as head coach, the transformation specialist. I mean, it's not a full-time job, is it? England head coach.
No, it's absolute.
No,
nonsense.
as Sean Wayne reminded Hull Cow when he congratulated
well
them for
done.
winning the treble.
I'm still part of
I'm still part of it.
Wasn't that the most begrudging thing we've seen for a long time? Wow. It's like
But they're good
you'd
people.
show a little bit of
They're
Yeah.
good people. They're the good people. They've got the grit. No, I'll wait until next week or the week after. Neil says lots of good points being made. Are you sure you're watching the right programme? But next season we are going backwards. We've got a World Cup to look
Well,
forward to.
You see, it's interesting if they ever release a document from this strategy review,
If there is a document.
strategic review, James.
sorry, whatever it's
Strategic.
called.
Expediency review.
If on the back of the fag packet it has a section on international, because is it a target of the game and part of the strategic review to say how do we make our
Well,
international
I think
team the most
You've actually
competitive
picked on something that's
possibly
really
can.
important and incredibly interesting here.
Well done, James.
We haven't, but Australia have. And I think one of the most interesting conversations that will be going on this week and into the week of the third test is how many parts of our game are saleable to a global market. So yes, your domestic competition at the moment, NRL, everybody loves it. We don't know who's going to beat who week after week. You get to the finals, the best teams tend to win it, but it's a fantastic standard. We're looking at the Pacific Championships. If you saw some of that this weekend, again, the standard from what it was a few years ago to what it is now, going through the absolute roof. And that's evidenced by the fact that 10,000 people watched Samoa and Tonga about 5 years ago. 45,000 watched them in Brisbane
Incredible.
this weekend. So if you're talking about commerciality of the sport, saleable parts of it,
It's a growth sector.
state of origin is one that they're going to pick out of the standard TV
Going
deal.
to Auckland.
Going to Auckland with this, with the impression that it will be a global event in the future, that the second one can be taken anywhere in the world. The NRL have already said, and it may be too early, that the start of the 2027 season, leading on from what they're doing in Vegas, is going to be known as their global round, and they're going to take every game somewhere around the world. Interestingly, they did include France in that. So whereas we perhaps don't value what the French can bring, they did.
The problem with that though, that story is they mentioned
Major
they
cities.
mentioned Nice,
Yeah.
Marseille, and Toulouse, and Nice and Marseille, it ain't going to happen. But Toulouse, you could get a crowd in Toulouse.
But I'm just saying,
But they're ambitious.
They're
Ambitious.
already looking, and they'll be looking at Paris as well if they're going to France. But they're talking about taking the part of the domestic game global, taking part of state of origin global. The other thing they need is the international game to be genuinely global, and they won't sit around and wait for us to make a mess of it. If they need to step in, they will, and it's no coincidence that the NRL have helped fund France coming over here to have those opposed. It's good for Australia. They needed opposition when they got off the plane, but it was great for France. And we can talk for ages about 14 teams, interim chief executives. I think we're only at the start of what's actually going to happen, and what's going to happen is what can we go to a broadcaster in 2027 as part of the Australian deal, not ours, and say we've got bits of you that all different broadcasters can pick off, but the total value of the global deal is $1 billion. That's what they're looking to get.
The two things though, there's several threads. They're all connected though by poor leadership, administration, and self-interest, which stops all these things. And the other,
it doesn't though. It doesn't
Well,
because
it has for
part
quite a
of
while.
that administration for self-interest will go with the Brave New World. Because that's exactly how Premier League football starts.
got an exclusive for you, Phil. I believe there's a meeting tomorrow with the Super League clubs and Peter Vlandis and Andrew Abdu. So
No, well, that's what I said. The meetings start this week.
Did anything come out of that championship meeting last week?
Yeah,
No.
they couldn't decide on the format.
Well, they
Decided
don't know
they-
what's happening with
decided they
Salford.
couldn't decide.
We'll have another meeting. We
Yeah.
don't know what biscuits we're going to have.
But
we'll
also, they
obviously-
don't know which teams are in the championship
Well,
because some of them face
too
winding
bad,
up orders, don't they? So,
Neil says, who in a position of influence is listening to these words of wisdom? They listen, Neil. They listen. It's all quite depressing. Time to lighten the mood, chaps. Well, we'll talk about biscuits in a bit. Don't panic.
we've got,
And
sadly, it does say Christmas. but
Well,
we've got
it is
Dutch,
Christmas.
Dutch chocolate nuts.
Dutch, because you're Dutch, aren't you, Phil? This is.
I do have some
Yeah.
Dutch in me, yes.
Jeez, that was a talk.
I do. Andy says anything on Salford. We'll come to that in a bit.
You want to lighten the mood?
I know.
Yeah, I know. There's a question on Twitter from Plankton about Salford. I was like, lighten the mood. That's
Well, there's loads of stuff on Salford apart from about on Twitter. What do we think
none
about
of it's positive.
what do we think about Matt Whitley's deal? Good for Matt Whitley.
I think he's a solid player. It's probably
versatile, can play centre or second row.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to get to fans excited, but he's
probably not going to be picked by Sean Wayne.
Here's Mel.
No, I think you're pretty solid in that.
We don't follow Mel. Why are we not following Mel?
So.
Your mate Mel, our mate Mel at Eddie.
We must follow him.
I know we don't apparently, but I'm following him now. It was one of the first times, Rangers, I've left a match with 10 minutes to go, along with thousands of others. Surely, I mean, Mel's watched Leeds for as long as when they were rubbish.
Was he in the tube station with the Wigan fans?
For 10 minutes to go, along with other comments on Tube were about Wayne being a dinosaur, picking his old men. However, it was worth it to see Reece Walsh, such an outstanding player. Phil is in love with Reece Walsh.
So it seems everybody is.
It's the nail polish.
It's
It's
his
the
eyes.
eyeshadow.
It's his
It's
eyes.
everything.
Benny Elias isn't.
He is, particularly
Benny's not.
when you see him close up
Chappers
on
is.
the field, and when you get the chance to interview him post match, he's incredibly charismatic.
Which is what we need.
Did he remark anything about the fine toilets of this lovely nation?
He wasn't asked.
All right.
If we
Should have come into the presser.
If we get him on Saturday or the Saturday after, we'll ask him. We can ask him.
Have you done any plumbing in Liverpool?
Yeah, we'll ask him. Does, say GKW, having an Ashes test at Wembley in the afternoon help Australia, as opposed to it being at a Pat Wigan or Hull under the floodlights at night, where the atmosphere would favour England? It's BBC.
Someone tweeted that. Yeah, let's play it at Odsall. That'll wind up the Aussies. I love the thinking. Let's play it in that park over there.
Let's play it odds and put their dressing room at the top of the hill like it used to.
Let's play. The Australians have 4 players and England have 13. Yeah.
So we come off the back of a test match at Wembley, which is
record crowd.
Yeah, established home of rugby league in this country, the big games, and has been since 1929. Internationals, cup finals, etc., World Cups. Great transport links for people coming from anywhere in the country, because there's a tube station right now. So I know there's problems on the Bakerloo line or whatever on Saturday, but you can still get there. It's easy enough to get to Wembley. It's easy. There's even car parking if you really want to destroy the planet and upset Greta Thunberg. So we get the biggest.
For the car.
I was going to say you give it up, don't you?
Yeah, £42.50. Booking fee on a car park. If any MPs are watching this programme, you've got to stop this booking fee nonsense. It's an absolute scandal. Anyway.
Come to your car wash for 20 quid.
Yeah, it went up to 40.
Yeah, wow. So that's where we're
because he realised what they were charging down the road.
It's inflation.
And if anyone knows why is there an ice cream van in the official car park at Wembley, every time we've been twice, it's
what are we going to get against ice cream?
Anyway,
no, we love it.
So
he wasn't open. That was the problem.
We come off the back of this record crowd at Wembley for the Ashes in this country, and we've got people saying, "Oh, she got Spurs instead." What?
I know it's nonsense.
What? It's where everyone knows Wembley, and it is genuinely. I know it's not the same stadium that I went to for the first time in '93 or whatever. It is genuinely iconic, actually iconic, and the Australians love it.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think
you've heard of it.
Yeah, I don't think people here in this country realise. I think not just in Australia, but around the world.
Yeah,
like Wembley has a mystique, like Madison Square Garden and America.
No, we should go play.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like
it's
a
not
lot
just
of
sport, though, is it? It's
sorry,
Live Aid and everything else that goes with it.
exactly. It's Live Aid. It's world events. Like you're on a stage at Wembley, and all the Australian players, I think all of them have never played at Wembley. And you think, oh, there's Mal Meninga played there, and Peter Sterling,
and you've got
John
pictures
Bon
as you.
Yeah,
as you
that's the
wander
thing.
through.
The people who aren't lucky enough to get the access that we do, when you're leaving the stadium from the mix zone, there are pictures up around the place of Freddie Mercury. Wakefield beating Wigan in '62. He's on the wall. Pele, all these people.
Wasn't quite good enough to get Neil Fox to place on the statue.
No, well, that's anti-Wigan bias in rugby league. We can't move away from that. It's like just.
It's the national stage.
With the World Cup coming next year, says John, is it imperative that the powers that be crack down on the ruck and speed it up going into next season? Well, we haven't.
By the way,
what rules we're going to change.
this is not just down to referees. This is down to coaching.
Yeah.
You know, as you've talked
The
about
wrestle.
before with Michael Maguire and what he's doing at in the NRL now, or possibly a movement away from all the wrestle. It's you
That
can't
happened
just
a few years ago.
you can't just ask the referees to fix the problem.
No.
It's down to coaching and attitude, really.
And fans being prepared to see 27 penalties in the first 10 minutes if you want to change.
Yeah, but we've had, people say,
they're
we've
not.
had these clampdowns and it'll run for a few weeks, and then ultimately the refs will have to back off because the clubs will complain, and the clubs dictate the sport. That's the problem in the game. It keeps coming back to the clubs.
Peter Volandes introduced the 6 again.
But he's a dictator of the NRL
So
and the
it can change.
There isn't.
You can decide what you want your game to look
Morrison
like.
But that won't happen.
But
it won't happen in the UK because, as James said, it's the clubs and they are
Clubs won't
fragmented.
tolerate it.
There's not really a coalition strong enough.
until 6 of them join with the NRL.
And it's not just that. It's upright tackling. It's holding a man up, catch and dance, then put him to floor, and
It's playing the
how
ball
do you
with your
kill
foot.
that out? And I know it's a huge
Yeah.
it's a huge issue. It's not easily fixed.
Barney asked about promotion and relegation. Is it fundamentally incompatible with the development of young players, considering the current
Yes.
state of the English?
Yes.
100%.
It's been saying that for a while.
Andrew says, play at Batley. The Aussies won't like the hill. That's a good point. Let's move the third test from Headingley.
Rick Stone didn't like it when he was
Bringing the
Huddersfield
touch
coach.
lines in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good food's good though for the fans.
Pie and peas.
Buying
Good,
peas, yeah.
What about...
Funnily enough, we saw the chairman of Batley
Oh, yeah, we
at
did,
Leicester
yeah.
Forest coming out, and they weren't eating pie and peas.
He's a thoroughbred rugby league person.
He is, because he was leading a tour group. I think there were a busload of Batley fans.
Wow. Are
Is
they all down in
anyone-
West Yorkshire?
Has anyone spoken to Simon Johnson about his disappointment of not being?
Well, he's played such a blinder with that tweet of look at me,
that was-
and he's just let his L down.
That did make me chuckle.
We're all
That
backing
maybe.
you, and then you just blew it.
'Cause
Your
it was-
credit in the bank with us is through.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
why,
Simon
that's why
Moran.
we can't pick him for the second
Yeah.
test now, because
You're
his
not-
credit in the bank has
You're not
gone.
getting in the magazine.
It was Simon Moran who organised for the Ashes to be here, not him.
Simon.
It made me chuckle.
It was cringeworthy, really.
It was.
But he has done a tweet like that before, and it's gone down badly, but not as badly as that.
Anyone else not get free
I mean,
tickets?
do you know anybody who will beg for a free ticket?
Now, people getting upset that there were school kids getting free tickets. It's like, I hate people. Anything else about Wembley we need to talk about? I didn't like the teams coming out separately, but I didn't mind music being played in breaks in play. It's not the same audience you're going to get at Headingley or whatever. The 6 again being announced over the time.
I was just going to ask about that.
Yeah.
That was a new system, I
That
think.
was really good.
Rock
And
and
it told you what
infringement.
it was for.
Yeah. I don't know how they know.
Somebody
Must
must
have
press
Liam
the
Moore
So
button.
it's the timekeeper's got a new panel,
Yes.
and he has to press the klaxon normally for the 6 again, and then he has 2 options: marker not square, I think, or
Oh, there's
ruck
only 2 of them.
interference.
Oh, you can just guess.
And I'm
it,
guessing what's he called?
Pete.
Pete Nuttall has pre-recorded these audios, so that when the timekeeper presses it on the panel, it announces it to the crowd. But I think that's a good idea
Yeah,
because
brilliant.
it's
Because we
more
don't know.
information to the crowd. Why is that being given?
When I went to the Champions League ice hockey last year, they had on the big screen referees explaining what the decisions were. Pre-taped ones, so the people who didn't know what the signals meant.
And again, at the end of the game, with the interviews, it was through the tannoy, wasn't it? For those who stayed
I don't
and
know,
listened
I was
to the
inside.
interviews. Yeah, so if you're on TV, you obviously heard that, but you could hear the echo.
Which is a very
in the
NRL
stadium.
grand final thing.
Definitely sure that the RFL provided the biscuits at half time in the press room because they were a bit stale. So
Mine were alright. I
Was
had
that
them
you?
the following day. They were okay.
butter chicken, it was
The curry
lovely.
was
it
good.
lovely,
Yeah,
yeah.
curry.
Oh,
No,
Controversial.
the Wembley people recognised Phil because he's a celebrity, so that was good.
Was it
How
the
did
jumper
that
that
happen?
they recognised?
It was the cat hair.
she must have mixed me up with somebody else.
So generally, apart from the rugby, it was a good day.
That's standard. I used to say that when you go to Catalan. It was always the rugby that spoiled a good weekend.
But nothing's going to change as we go to. It's not the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Don't call it the Hill Dickinson Stadium.
Oh.
It's Hill Dickinson Stadium. There's no the.
Oh, right.
Even though it's a stadium.
Like Eagles.
Yeah, it's just Hill Dickinson
The
Stadium
Eagles.
because it
No,
upsets
it's not
them.
the Eagles.
It upsets them, so everyone calls it
Eagles
the Hill Dickinson
sounds
Stadium.
terrible. Beatles or the Beatles?
The Beatles.
All right.
It seems obvious, but how can you deal with the concerns of clubs and then inevitably you won't meet the standards for the top division? Other than giving them a boatload of money, which the RFL don't have, to placate them, enter NRL? Possibly. Will they pay off the little clubs? Can they buy Huddersfield a new ground? So, oh well.
I don't think
Uncle
it's
Ken's
about
bowling
paying
help.
off. It's about paying for what you want, not paying for what you don't want.
Just say sod 'em.
There
more
might
Australian
be a
terms.
deal whereby, contingent upon them doing what they want to do, there is a payback. But it's not about funding clubs you don't want.
I'm sure I've said this on this show before, Rich, but the Maitland pumpkin pickers don't get the same voting rights as South Sydney or the Brisbane Broncos.
I mean, if they'd have bought the Cornwall licence before they went bust, they
Well,
could have.
that was a
could have
farce, wasn't it?
had Hemel, yeah.
We said that before it happened, and we said it while it was happening.
Ottawa.
And,
Ottawa races.
Eric Perez,
Lauren
remember?
Fresno, head coach. But it's all COVID's fault. And New York.
I'm pretty sure there's no COVID now.
Oh no, it's still going on.
All
So
right.
we've forgotten about it.
Right.
Just say it didn't happen. What else was there to talk about Wembley? That was. That was the other stupid thing on Saturday. Why were there a set of girls' rugby league finals being streamed by the Rugby Football League, and England Community Lions playing, which is an. Can I say it's a nonsense? It is a nonsense. It's not the England team.
We're not going to
Playing Scotland. So Scotland played an international against a team, and Jamaica the other week played an international against a team that isn't an international team. It's the
There
players
should have
from
been
the
no
Championship.
rugby league of any description on Ashes Saturday at Wembley.
But there was. My first test match, says Bob, was GB versus Australia at Old Trafford. We wore t-shirts, Kangaroo Busters. They taught us a lesson that day, but Joe Lydon taking Gary Jacks on his outside was a brilliant memory. That's all we've got.
No S, just Jack.
Gary Jack, sorry.
Yeah.
Sheffield Eagles legend, Gary Jack. Didn't win the Yorkshire Cup.
Tightest man in rugby league, apparently.
Didn't win the Yorkshire Cup in '92.
He used to not cross the Harbour Bridge until after the 3:30, so he didn't have to pay the toll.
Is there anything else to talk about from Wembley? We discussed everything.
No, I think the issue is how does it change, and I don't think any of us have got the answer to that question.
Are we all going to? Are we going to look foolish on next Monday?
I hope so.
England. I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? We can be critical, but
you-
we want
you-
England to win. We
You've
don't
just
want England
eaten
to
coffee
lose.
and walnut cake. I will happily have humble
Well, I
pie
haven't.
next Monday if England win.
We all want England, apart from John. We all want England to win.
No, that's not true, Rich. I said
Well,
this to you.
it's better for your work, isn't it? If England win.
Better for the sport if England wins the Ashes. It's better for the
You
sport
get
in
less
this country.
paragraphs if,
It
uh,
will-
I will,
yeah,
I will
if
make
it's a
more
third
money
test.
through commissions if England wins. So,
It will
and
be-
I don't have a lot of money, and I need money.
It will
Um,
be a hell of a
well, yeah.
turnaround if
Yeah.
England win
It will.
this series.
well, they won't win this
Oh, I
series, Phil. I think that's Buckley's, but winning a game in this series would be an achievement. I think winning one of the three, when they
Yeah.
haven't beaten Australia in
Yeah.
any game for 19 years.
But what you don't necessarily want it to be is the third game.
So somebody
well, I
asked the
think
question
that's
on-
probably the best,
I know,
the
but-
most likely outcome.
Yeah, it is. I saw somebody asked the question on Twitter. I think when was the last time they beat Australia in successive matches?
Was it 88 and 90?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was
It
across
was-
two tournaments.
Yeah,
though.
It was
the
88
last
and
test
90.
at 88 and the first
Yeah.
test at
Yeah.
90.
That was the
But the
Vaseline
last
game.
time they've won two was 1970.
And
Well,
the 88 one was a dead rubber.
Right, Sean Wayne's been on the Our League app,
I thought he's been on to the live
Yeah,
chat.
no.
He's asking a
I
question.
tell you, if
Who should I pick?
If the England
Check your phone, James. Check
He's
your phone.
listening.
if
He's
the England
listening.
management are upset by this programme, they've got better things to do than watch this
They won't
programme.
listen, will they?
Who starts at fullback? This is on the Our League app. We can pick our team. We're going to pick our team again. We can either have Jack Wellesby or AJ Brimson. Are we picking our
Oh,
team?
this isn't Sean Wayne.
No, this is Sean Wayne's asked Our League. Who shall I
Sean
pick?
Wayne's asked out.
Well, no, I'm just pretending he has.
Oh, right.
Otherwise, there's no
gonna
point.
say,
It's just engagement.
We may as well just have AI in charge of the
Blow
team.
the Wigan people. So Jack Wellesby or AJ Brimson, who's starting at fullback?
Who do we want to start? Who do we think is
I'm
starting?
going to click this out as clickbait for the people. Who's going to start? For us?
Brimson.
Brimson, right. Thank you. And then it's going to give us a percentage. Right, who starts on the wing? I think we can select all that apply. Well, we've only got 3 options as wingers.
As
Joe-
it was, no change.
Yeah.
Joe Burgess, Tom
Yeah.
Johnson, Don.
I thought the wingers were.
They were
I
okay.
can't,
Yeah,
can I
they're
pick
okay.
2? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, that's who we've picked.
You only pick one winner. They're definitely going to
yeah.
lose the second test.
Who do we want wearing the 3 and 4 shirt in Liverpool? We're not called centres anymore. You're not allowed to be called the centres. It works.
Centre 3/4.
Centres are works. Wardle, Farnworth, Newman, Brimson. Well, we've picked Brimson already, so we can't pick him again.
Farnworth and Newman.
Yeah, Newman. Give Newman a run.
Oh, I don't know. This is broken. Who are your two halfbacks for the weekend? Lewis, Smith, Williams, Brimson. We can't keep picking AJ Brimson in every
every
position.
We've got 3 Brimsons.
His younger brother.
Smith and Williams.
Smith and Williams, yeah.
Right, I'm going to say something controversial.
Yeah?
I would have Lewis and Brimson and keep Wellesby.
Right.
Because I don't think he's going to play as badly again.
It's getting confusing, this. Right, we picked our halfback. Which number 9 are you picking?
Litton.
We're going Litton.
Jez
aren't we?
Litton.
Litton for 80 minutes.
Yeah, just Litton. Which prop forwards are you choosing to start? We've got 6 of them. Aledzki, Havard, Lees, McMeekan, Trout and Walmsley. And to answer the question from before the programme, it was definitely Ethan Havard. So, who are we picking? Big Mike.
McMeekan.
Big Mick.
And I
Has
think
to start.
Aledzki.
And Aledzki.
Yeah.
Now, does Aledzki fail the grit test?
What, because he's born in Gdansk?
Yeah. Is he bothered
Are you
about it?
saying Poles are soft?
No, but he's not English grit, so he's Polish grit.
He's adopted
So
grit.
it's like
I
slightly
mean, I think
less grit.
he's been living here
But-
longer than he was living in Poland.
Listen,
Well,
Churchill.
can we pick Brimson then?
No. Winston Churchill, who's on the right side, he's on Poland.
No, but he's got half grit through his mum. His
Right.
DNA, yeah.
South London grit.
Yeah. So that's all right. Well, so we picked those two. Who starts in the second row at the Hill Dickinson Stadium? See, the RFL have got it wrong as well. It's Hill Dickinson Stadium. They'll be in trouble now. Kai Pearce-Paul, Morgan Smithies, John Bateman, Callum Watkins. We've got to pick Kai Pearce-Paul. He's not done nothing wrong.
Pierce, Paul and Smithies. Because Watkins you'd have on the bench to cover a number of positions.
Yeah, he's got that utility value.
Which loose forward makes your starting 13? Callum Watkins, Morgan Knowles, Morgan Smithies, Kai Pearce-Paul.
AJ Brimson.
Knowles.
It's got to be Knowles.
Well done.
Although he probably doesn't need to handle the ball as much.
Thanks for voting. Share your result.
He his tackle stats was it 46? Did he make 46 tackles? His defence was really good.
One thing that I noticed very early on, and Gav Wilsey, we spoke about it, it looked like he suffered a head knock very early on. It might have even been the first tackle, and he came out and he wobbled, and he never went off for a HIA. And whenever you see a player wobble when they're running back line after a big collision, you think, oh, geez, but maybe it wasn't, but that was interesting. I mean, he made quite a few errors
Was
with
it
the ball,
December
didn't
in
he?
the cup final?
Well, that was a concussion, but anyway, we won't go there.
Whatever the result, enjoy the weekend, lads. Don't forget to have a bowl of scouse. What is scouse?
I thought that was the accent.
It is. I know it's food, but I don't know what
Is
it
it
is.
potato based?
We might get it in the press box. We're told it's very steep, by the way, the sides of the stands at Everton, so
I can't wait.
take a stick. Isn't that what we really hope for? Good memories. I'm at Everton on Saturday, hoping to see England tries. I'll probably not live long enough to see a series win.
Did I say that to you leaving the ground?
I think James's son might not see it.
I'm not going to be here long enough to see a series win.
Andrew says, was leaving Jake Connor out a big mistake? Well, we'll never know the answer, will we? Because we can only...
No, the answer is yes.
We will never know the answer because he's obviously...
More than one player, though, isn't it? It's more than
Oh,
one
of
player.
course. You don't. If you look at all the Man of Steels over the year, the English Man of Steels, how many have been left out of England squads?
One.
What was the? I'm
One.
sure. I saw,
Danny Hout.
One in what,
But he's
30 odd
Scottish.
years.
He's Scottish, isn't he?
then is that down to the system? It opens
So that's
the
not a
account.
great. That's not a great record.
But I saw somebody tweet about, I don't know who it was, about Sean Wayne being quoted as being disappointed or upset by because somebody hadn't been selected as Man of Steel previously.
That was
When
Matty
he was
Smith.
making coach or something.
It was Matty Smith, yeah.
You either do pay attention or you don't.
Pete is talking about the 1988 World Cup game. Not sure that it was a dead rubber.
It was a dead rubber in the Ashes series,
was
Yes.
counted
But
for
it
the
counted
World Cup
for the
We watched
convoluted
this
World
last
Cup.
week.
Yeah.
Australia was ahead 2-0.
Barney's asking a good question. Does the league have the gum shield impact sensors? Now, I know they used them in the wheelchair game. But I don't have.
Certain clubs. I'd be very surprised if the national team didn't, because
Part of the study,
That
wasn't it?
might be part of Sam Tonkin's duties to keep an eye on them, make sure that no one nicks them, and of course, now I've remembered this. So these are international players, aren't they? They're international rugby league players. The England team are international rugby league players. I know some people may think they're not, but they're international rugby league players. They're professionals. They know what they're doing. So why have they got Sam Tompkins on the pitch like an under-sevens coach telling them how to attack? He's on the pitch all the time.
Clubs do that. Clubs do that all the time.
They're world-class international
Alan
footballers.
Lange used to do it for the Broncos. Jeff Tuvey used to do it for Manly.
Why? Why sometimes?
Because you're telling your defenders where to go. It's
Can we pick
sportsmanship / cheating,
Can
whatever
we
you
pick
want to
Sam
call it.
at number 1 next week? Getting back in the
I think
team.
his knees
his
might
left
be
leg.
done.
You could pick his left leg, but not his right.
Strap him up.
I mean, he has got credit in the bank. His form wasn't great this year,
Yeah.
but he has got credit in the bank.
Yeah. And he did more running on Saturday than he did for the Catalans. Great signing for them. Scouts is just like a Lancashire hot pot, says Kevin. Oh, we can't have that then, can we? We can't have that. It's basically just a winter stew.
Yeah. Does it come with cabbage?
I don't know.
No. What is it they have?
It's not Poland, Phil.
No.
Barney says because of those gum shots, they would have been triggered by.
Yeah.
I think that's all on the England game, which is good because we've spent an hour and 20 minutes talking about one match.
Have we?
Yeah.
And we should go to another positive and talk about Salford.
No, let's go to a positive and talk about Nigerian Women's Rugby League.
Rugby League. They beat Ireland.
We spent
Canadian land.
a long part of yesterday, sadly and separately, not together, watching the Women's World Series from Canada.
Phil had his life-size Reece Walsh doll next to him.
And like,
Someone will send us that
it
eventually.
was actually my cat. But
With a Reece Walsh face mask on.
We'll get one of those big carbon heads of Reece.
the final was Fiji, who had a lot of NRLW players, against Nigeria, who have been playing Women's Rugby League for the fleetingest amount of time. And it was an absolute pleasure to watch. And if that doesn't give you encouragement about there are talent pools out there that we haven't even been anywhere near yet, then it was uplifting. And the final score didn't matter because obviously Nigerians played 5 days before. They're not used to playing two high profile games.
It's a shame how the draw worked out, wasn't it? Because Canada, Fiji in the semi was really the final, unfortunately.
And their athleticism, their willingness to defend their own try line, their hair. I think we need to make mention of their hair was just sensational. The long hair that the Nigerians had.
You're straying into Phil Gould areas now, Phil.
Stylistically,
Be careful, be careful.
No, it's just. But what a joy to
We're
watch.
hair experts on this programme.
Yeah.
Look at us.
What a joy to watch.
Best hair in the Rugby League press box.
As indeed was
It's not a great bunch, Fridge.
Samoa and Tonga.
Oh, jeez.
Don't
Toupees and
go-
everything.
don't go.
No, Samoa and Tonga, that was the Jillaroos with the spectacular finished
What was
time.
the final score for the Jillaroos?
60-0.
I mean,
So they did better than England. That's a concern.
Samoa, yeah, it is.
Because the Samoan women,
I
I don't know this for a fact, but I'm guessing they're all from either Australia or New Zealand.
The thing about the Samoan women was they were brilliant the week before against New Zealand, and then playing a team that is fresh in the competition, that's a higher standard anyway. It was always going to be a mismatch. But again, talking about viral things that have gone viral, Julia Robinson's catch and try.
It's a great try. Yeah.
You know, if you can't build interest on the back of that, then you never will.
Barney's asked who decided the initial matchups. It was the world rankings, wasn't it, for the...
Yes.
So, unfortunately, because Fiji are fairly newish,
Canada have dropped as well since the last World Cup.
because Fiji, the theory was they should have been in the last World Cup, but Brazil were in the last World Cup, so...
Fiji got shafted.
Yeah.
But they're there now for the first time.
They were never going to win. Fiji had a team full of Aussies, but it would have drummed up more attention if Canada had made it to the final. Well, at least to beat Ireland.
Yeah, but Canada-Ireland was another great game. Canada were brilliant in the second half.
I imagine Canada probably had Canadians.
They've got Megan Pacoulis from the NRLW.
That's a couple of NRL.
I don't imagine Ireland have got many Irish-born and...
They
raised.
bought 3 or 4 over from Australia.
And they've got Storm Cobain, who's Phil's favourite name in rugby league.
Storm Cobain.
Storm
As
Cobain.
captain.
Yeah. Storm
Related
Cobain.
to Kurt?
Almost as good as... Who's the... Hunter Payne at London Broncos, who's the other best name in rugby league. So outside of England, forget England for a bit, everything's quite exciting, and
And again, there's future...
The cookies.
You know, there is future money to be made out of playing international rugby league in Africa.
Do you think NRL Global around Lagos?
No, I'm looking at some of the players who literally have a handful of games experience, and if I was an English women's Super League club, a bit like what York did with Peace Lakuru, I'd say there's 2 or 3 players there you should be signing, and then watch the standard go up.
And that's different.
Like a Stanley Jean throwback.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's different from signing Queensland Cup players to fill out your squad.
I just
it's
think
a
it
different thing.
develops the sport in
Yeah.
duplicate, doesn't it?
Canada, says Barney, mostly Canadian second-tier union players, but actually Canadian. What was on them at the World Cup? They play good rugby.
They're doing very well in women's rugby union.
And I think when you look at the joy that they have handling the ball, it's different to what they're used to, and they really take to it quickly. And they're not asked to play one or the other because, again, the seasons don't coincide. So,
how do I get Cook Island citizenship?
There's only about 50,000 of them.
Yeah, no, but can I get it? Is it easy to do? Can someone let me
you're
know?
a big fan of the Moana.
Do I have to marry a Cook Islander?
I'm
willing to do.
They've won the Pacific Bowl.
Yeah, because I think I've got more chance of winning the World Cup than England. I'm going to be in trouble. I'm going to be in trouble now, aren't I? Because I'm supposed to be like this big supporter of the women's game, and I've just said that now. Well done, the Queensland wheelchair team nearly beat England today, the world champions, which is good and bad because you think England, well, they should beat these teams, but it means that the game in Australia is growing, which means that's another nation who are up at the top end.
It also means the 2 test matches to come are not foregone conclusions.
Can you find out, Rich, if the Queensland team did a big chant of Queenslander before?
Well, they probably did. They did that run it.
Yeah.
You know, the run it straight thing, which is nonsense.
That straight thing.
Have you not heard about this? It's people running.
Oh yes, sorry.
They did that in wheelchairs, which obviously is funny.
Really?
Yeah.
As in, like, as a joke, or?
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, it's just clanging wheels, isn't it, and stuff. It's dangerous. Don't do it. No disrespect to Phil.
Have as much disrespect as you want.
Is that Roz?
But clearly didn't watch the Canadian play union. Their style looked a lot like league. Well, we didn't watch rugby union, so.
Well, I know the Canadians beat the Aussies in the women's rugby sevens, the Olympics, so they're good.
Quicker rucks and suplex.
Sevens is nearer to rugby league than it is rugby union.
Exactly, 100%. Phil.
Well, this
it's
is
a
my
lot
new
quicker
theory.
and speedier rucks.
Mike Danson, the fella who owns
Wigan?
Yep.
He's got loads of money, hasn't he?
Billionaire.
He should get the checkbook out and sign Ellie Cullen and Ilona Moore. Doesn't matter if they're any good at rugby league. Publicity.
I think
Are there still checkbooks?
Well, I'm sure I've seen you with one.
Yeah,
I think he's
I've
busy.
got one.
I think he's busy.
Kukash had one on the
Yeah, that
million
big
pound
check.
game.
Yeah.
Do you
Comedy
remember that
giant check, yeah.
I think he's busy suing Super League Europe.
I hope the big comedy check is in the
Marlon
Rugby League
Pinto?
Heritage Collection.
I think Marlon Kukish is probably living out of a duffel bag.
Where's Probiz these days? Anyway, Bob says, I enjoyed Tonga versus Cook Islands at the weekend. Again, a lot of NRLW players and a good shot window for the NRLW. It is the best women's rugby league rugby competition in the world. Just, unfortunately, people here don't know it exists outside of our bubble. But I don't know how we get... Can they bring an NRLW global round here? Because I'll go.
Well, that was the disappointing thing, that there was supposed to be the women's Ashes this
Oh,
year,
yes,
wasn't it?
which
I don't know if it was money or just the fact that England
No, I think it was Vegas. I think it was
yeah,
Vegas.
Yeah, no one wants to see another spanking.
But I would like to see Brisbane versus Wigan, which might
I
also
wouldn't,
be...
because that would be a spanking.
No, but we haven't seen it, so we need to know where the benchmark is.
I don't want to see Dennis Petts dance again. That's what.
Well, no, well, he won't be dancing if they lose, will they? So. But also that would be actually put the Wigan women in a shot window for the NRLW, and then they'll sign them all. But Barney just likes rugby. Well, we do, but you know, in the same way that certain journalists who reported on the Test match on Saturday don't really like the other one. But we're looking forward to our invitation to Twickers to do the autumn internationals, and at least, you know, as much as we can say about the RFL, we're not the Welsh Rugby Union. That's our selling point at the minute. We may be inept, we may be whatever you want to say, but we're not the Welsh Rugby Union. So there's always that. Is there anything else to say? Have we done Salford.
Well, Paul Rowley, coach of St Helens.
No one expected that.
That hadn't been announced
was
this
shocking.
time last week.
I don't know. I'm sure we mentioned that.
Did we mention it?
Yeah, we did.
Or was it only speculated?
I'm sure we did.
I mean, it had only been speculated for about a month.
The bookmakers, they knew.
Yeah.
So what's happening at Salford? They've got no players now. They're all left.
They're in
Well, it's
court.
funny that when you don't pay them, they
Are they
tend
in
to leave.
court on Wednesday?
They are, and I think it's
Are they going to get a job
all
like
over.
Featherstone? Or he's
So that
Well, they've had two, so I mean, I'm not
it's not
I'm
like-
not a lawyer or a tax
it's
expert,
not like Sheffield Wednesday kind of.
but I think they're the proverbial screwed. Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is there's this consortium behind the scenes who is trying to want to take over the remnants of once the club goes bust, and they're trying to hire coaches, but again, they don't have any application in with the RFL, have no approval.
They can't yet.
Chris
so
Owen,
presumably
I
they
mean,
know what's happening with the existing.
But it's a bit dodgy, I think. Yeah.
So it's just waiting and hoping. And
Well, I think it's the same as we've known for months. They're stuffed. It's very very sad, but I think we've gone on other shows, haven't we? Like, there's a lot of people who are culpable in that. It's not just the owners who have taken over and been very, very dodgy, but a lot of other factors.
Do they still want to buy Super League?
Frank Sloven's
Are
still
we talking
involved.
No, he left. We had a thing about it. We had an email.
No, he was involved. He was fronting their bid to
Oh, was
buy
he?
Super League.
Oh,
yes.
right, I missed that. I'm sorry, I missed that bit.
Yeah.
I'm sure you reported
I didn't write it because
Oh, you-
unfortunately the bid wasn't credible. Didn't
I
pass
thought
the,
this is yet again something I've missed by not reading.
No.
How do we think West Tigers would do against Wigan women, says Barney? I assume he means West Tigers men there. 'Cause he's-
I've not seen the West Tigers women play. Yeah.
No, he means the men.
Yeah.
How will they get on against Wigan
I think
women?
Terrell May would be all right. I think Jerome Luai would be all right. Yeah.
I think the new crop of players who represent England in the Women's World Cup will give a better account of themselves, says Bob. Got to pick them.
I think
it's not this World Cup, it's the next one.
I think if anything, the gap's gone a lot worse.
Where's the next World Cup?
2028.
Where?
Hasn't been announced yet.
It's not next year in Australia.
Well, there's that
No,
one, and then
the
there's
one
another one.
All right.
Because we split them up again.
I think
That was great
the gap from 2017 to 22 was still down. I think if anything, it's gotten a lot worse. The only difference will be now that England can pick Australian players,
If they choose to.
which they will because they need to.
Paul's blaming Liam Moore.
Yes, it's all in.
Forward pass for first try. Absolutely blatant. Second try, obstruction. Our English ref. Cost us. Did us no favours. Forward passes, how hard are they to call? Because
You need your touch.
unless you're at
helpful
Headingley
touch
where the
touchdown.
South Stand.
No, that's a ref's decision because the touch on the near side is always going to be behind player in that instant because they go towards touch, so he's going to slightly hang back. Pass back on the inside. Liam is slightly ahead of the pass. It's forward, in my opinion.
Oh, you're
It's a
right.
forward pass. It's missed.
Is it a little forward pass though?
Doesn't matter, does it? It's forward or it's not. The camera angles, we don't have a camera that's banging line, but in my opinion, it's a forward pass.
It's not the way he scooped around. It kind of looked. Do you know what I mean? Like it was hard to see even on the
It's
replays.
how it comes out the hands,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Exactly,
Yeah, it's
whether
how
it
it
came
comes out
back
the
out of
hands.
the hands or
and
went
it,
forward.
for me,
or,
it's just a forward pass. And I think there was another one he referred to the video referee, and I was thinking, well, I don't know why he referred it because you could just give the decision. It was a challenge in the air. It was a clear decision.
Yeah.
But then he played on, but there was a forward pass in that
The
as
flick
well.
was a forward.
Yeah, the
that was a
flick
that
behind the
was
back.
that was a very blatant forward
But had
pass.
the video referee not ruled on
Yeah.
the challenge and said, oh, that was okay, then we'd have been in a mess because it was a forward pass there. So, yeah. And what was the point?
Obstruction. I can't remember.
It wasn't
What's going
obstruction.
on.
No,
There was a
Mikey made a
collision.
meal of that.
There was a
didn't he?
collision.
Oh, he dived, didn't he?
But
Yeah,
ultimately,
yeah,
the ball
'cause
goes out wide.
As was pointed out, we should be having a go at him like we did Kyle Felt. And we should.
I don't think it was quite that, but he did try.
You
and-
see those given though. It's a 50-50 call. You see
I
obstruction.
don't think
It's
so.
a great, I love that.
The ball
phrase.
goes
You
out
give him-
wide as well. And
I've seen everything given, Reg.
he's run into an inside shoulder, that runner.
Dennis, our man in London,
Bets?
says, not that one, but spelt the same. Halifax apparently approached Lockyer and Breschel to see if they would be prepared to invest in them instead of London. Bit different though, isn't it?
Are you
That's
surprised that they didn't?
No.
No.
Well,
The
they-
London,
Halifax
re-
haven't got
the
second
London
because they're by
rebrand
Huddersfield.
seems to have gone down well.
The B and the
There's a lot of people
Horsehead.
complaining about the
Font.
look of the font, and I mean I'm not a graphic designer,
Didn't look
and
like,
then even the Reebok thing
didn't
apparently
look like it was designed by AI though, did it?
apparently they got ties to Israel. I wasn't aware that Reebok had
well,
ties
Reebok
to
isn't the
Israel.
Reebok it was anyway, but it's just a brand name. But it's it sounds more
It's the
impressive
kind
than
of
your own.
brand name that the
People have
game
heard.
itself wouldn't have minded.
I think what they're I've only spoken to Grant Weschel once, but he seemed very professional in what they're doing. You know, they seem like they're doing a great job. It's just the interesting thing will be how much they're going to invest and for how long. Like how long is their commitment? Because if they don't get into Super League the end of next year, will they?
How do they get into Super League next year?
Well, it's IMG criteria, isn't
Is
it?
it?
Well, unless it's a separate competition that they get.
Well, we're
invited
bringing back
into.
promotion and relegation.
Hinting
remember?
at things that aren't necessarily
We're
going to
bringing
happen.
back promotion and relegation. That's what we're bringing back now.
But we never technically lost it.
No, but not in the traditional English way.
Was
English grit.
The gritty way.
There's no IMG points for grit, is there? Grit,
All right,
grit.
Nigel, calm down.
Winston Churchill. Can you hear me?
So have we established that Magic Weekend's not happening?
Well, apparently it doesn't seem to be.
No. With the
Seems
fixtures
to be no.
fixed.
I
The
don't know.
dates of the fixtures have been worked out, and there isn't a spare gap.
Well, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, like
I thought it was
England.
it was 3-on-3 tournament in Blackpool or something with lots of
Don't
pyro.
go to Blackpool. I was in Blackpool on Friday. I wouldn't recommend Blackpool at the moment.
Just at the moment, or
Well, I don't know what it's like in the height of summer, but in the rain it was a little bit run
It's
down.
interesting in December. Barney's deleted a message. I was going to read it, but he's deleted it now. Oh, no, he's brought it back. Oh, thanks, Barney. Eva Hunter looks like a slightly different class of athlete to previous England forwards. New generation with slightly better support and greater professionalism. Some cause for hope. I think I said before, it's not this generation or the next one, but it's the ones after, because there's so many girls getting involved in playing rugby league that there's got to be some talent that's going to come through in the future, because there's more people to pick from.
But you need a competition that intensifies that talent.
Well, it's all right, because the strategic review won't give a toss about wheelchair rugby league. Oh, no, it will know about wheelchair, but probably not about women's. Can I say that? No, it's unfair for me to say, isn't it?
You can say what you like on this podcast.
It's good to see that.
It's whether the NRL see a value in the
Yeah.
women's game.
Well, they will, won't they? Because they can see. It's good to see, though, that some CEOs have their own mouthpieces in the media, though. That's good. Wardle was
Where
poor.
did that come from?
I was just going to talk about Warrington. Wardle was poor. Drop him, play Farnworth in his proper position. Newman in for Wardle. McMeekin and Trout start at prop. Show some bad ... S. Drop the captain and replace him with Smith. Drop Wellsby and replace him with Brimson. Paul's picking the whole team.
I don't think like 8 changes is probably the way forward, unless there's a lot of injuries.
Why not?
Continuity for. Sorry, Bob Fulton.
The Fulton really... We didn't know about that last week, did we?
I think that's
great.
I think that's fantastic.
Congratulations to
two-
Walsh on winning that.
Two absolute legends of the
Oh,
sport.
it's not yet, but-
Great mates and also teammates and also rivals as head coaches for both Great Britain and for Australia and for Manly and Newcastle. Yeah, fantastic.
Brilliant. Well
Couldn't
done.
have been anyone more fitting for that to be named after.
Hopefully Mal will be presenting it.
Well, he
Biscuit time.
is
Biscuit
a legend.
I would retract my thing about women's rugby, but then I realised this strategic review is just about placating clubs who...
When's it delivering?
I don't know. You should have asked the current interim chief executive. Of the
Will
Rugby
you
Football
actually get
League.
the review out before you all have to move on?
When we know what the championship format is, or anything else.
I think that'll probably come.
Quizzically at the,
That'll come
Knots.
kick off in February.
Waitrose, nevertheless.
Yeah.
Waitrose.
So,
I wanted to spoil you.
Not only that, but I won't tell you for viewers at home what it actually looks like on the front.
Chocolate pretzels.
That looks like cat feces.
John said it.
And on that
Show it to the camera.
Let's-
There's some context.
Waitrose, you see what's happening, listener? They can see.
Hang on.
What's going on in Chapel Alton these days? The times are
Let's
tough.
have some cat feces.
How did we sum up the first test at Wembley? Let's have some cat feces.
Actually, out the packet, they look a lot better than on the
The
picture.
pretzels, the chocolate.
This is what the people tune in for. The AI, right? AI describes bits of the programme when I put the podcast on. And the other week it did say at the end, goodbyes and biscuits. That's what AI decided was this programme.
Well, here we go.
John, you won't be back next week, will you?
I won't be. I'll
No,
be
that's
on
good then.
parenting duties. Thank you.
So we'll see you after the series is finished when we're all depressed.
You'll see me at Liverpool.
Oh yeah, we'll see you. Oh, we'll do a live.
We'll do a pre-game
We'll
show.
try and get Reece Walsh in the mix, but we can't promise.
I thought you
gonna
meant for the pre-game. I think it might be busy.
We'll get him.
I'll take a Valentine card.
Yeah, we'll take you some chocolate biscuits and stuff. At the toilet.
Not bad.
Is it good?
Yeah, they're
Still.
good.
I mean, James, you've done 2 weeks in a row now. That's
yeah.
that might be a record. I don't know. But
It's that Dutch chocolate.
Is that because you've not been working on Keithley's IMG application?
Someone in the press box was doing Oh no, it wasn't in the press box. Was it? It was elsewhere, so I'm not going to name them. Was doing an impression of the Keithley owners submitting their bid. It was quite amusing. And we'll talk about that.
Who was that?
Well, we'll talk about that off the air.
Wasn't me. I know
No,
that.
I know it wasn't you. Anything else I need to say? No. Enjoy the week. we might see you in Liverpool.
Enjoy Everton, because it's going to be a great experience going to a new stadium.
Especially because we all have to park 1,000,000 miles away, so you'll probably see us walking to the stadium, which is good.
You don't get the Mersey ferry to it.
I don't know. Liverpool's confusing. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the week. Thanks to James, thanks to John, thanks to Phil, and thank you all for your comments throughout the programme. Enjoy the rest of the week. I'm going to stop streaming.